Hello and welcome to the third class in the Learn to Meditate series. I'm Laura, and thanks so much for joining. Whether you are on live with me or you are joining in from the replay, you may want a couple of things in order to support you for the meditation for about half an hour or so. So I have underneath me a blanket. And it doesn't have to be any kind of special blanket. This is a yoga blanket, but feeling free to find any kind of blanket, a cushion, a pillow, anything that will help elevate your sits bones a little bit so that your knees are lower than your hips. And some of us will find that our legs are up really high, and that's okay. We'll just need to support them. So what you'll do then is maybe take, if you have a yoga block, you could always use books or put towels underneath. Then you could go ahead and support your legs that way, because we want to ensure that we have a certain level of comfort, if possible, when we move into the seated meditation practice. If you find that that's not going to work for you, feeling free to grab a chair. You could always sit in a chair with your feet grounded into the earth in order to get yourself in a space whereby you can hold that for that half an hour or so. So as we come to our mats, we'll find that support beneath our bodies and close our eyes. Make any adjustments that you need to. And it might feel really good to shift forward and backward. And as you do that, you're opening up the heart and you're awakening up into the low spine and up that spinal column. Just a few times shifting forward and back. And this will help to get us into the space where we can hold our posture for the duration of your meditation practice. So we will ensure that our sits bones are grounded into the earth or into your chair. You will have your shoulders gently gliding down your back. And we'll be lifting and lengthening up out of the low spine. So we're trying to get a little bit longer. We are stacking our spine straight. So it's not a forward tilt of your pelvis. It's not a backward tilt. It's kind of that in between where you're sitting up nice and tall. Your shoulders and your heart are open. Good. And then your chin is either in alignment here, kind of parallel with the floor, slightly forward, if that feels good for your body. And this is going to be important that everyone listens to their own body. It's going to be a little bit different. But essentially what we're doing is trying to create that long spine and energetic channel that can help open up those energies that run along the spine. We will want our jaw and our tongue to be soft. So maybe swallowing, letting the jaw soften and taking the tongue and maybe touching it to the soft palate at the top of the mouth. That helps to stimulate the third eye area here. We're trying to connect inward with what we call our inner witness. So connecting with that kind of energetic loop and taking the tongue up to the top of your mouth will help with that. Your gaze can be down the bridge of your nose if you wish, so really narrow and kind of focus down the bridge of your nose, or eyes closed. It's completely up to you, whatever feels best for your body today. And then you may want to have just a little gentle smile on your face, just to help stimulate those endorphins that help support our happiness. And as you arrive here, I'd just like you to take a couple of breaths. Just inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Just doing that 3 times in order to help you begin to ground into yourself. So if you're practicing live here, we're doing this in an early morning practice, and we're doing that in order to give you an idea of how meditation can help support us in our day. Meditation is so important for finding that sacred space within ourselves and coming to our mats and coming to our practices early on in the day before we get into our normal life really can help us to be very grounded and rooted for the rest of our day. So that's why um, practicing live, I wanted to make sure that we had a practice in the early morning. And if you are doing the replay, you can do this at any time of day, but I encourage you to try the practice in the morning as well. So we begin to bring our awareness just to the upper lip. Really, it's that triangular spot that encompasses the two nostrils and part of the upper lip. So, as if you were keeping your awareness or focusing your awareness on that tiny triangle. And I would like you to allow your breath to be natural as best you can and begin to focus and notice the breath, maybe traveling in and traveling out of this area on your body. And in this method of meditation, this Vipassana method, we start small and we begin to really focus the brain, teach the brain to be focused on a very kind of smaller or minute area in order to build its focus and capacity. So you will likely notice that thoughts come in, even other sensations in the body. And for right now, as soon as you notice that your attention has been taken away from that area, over the upper lip and the nostrils, then I want you to just bring your awareness back to that breath. And we're looking to connect with any form of sensation in this area. And by sensation, I mean cool or hot or tingly or any kind of sensation that gives you the awareness that you're feeling something. It could be pressure. It could be an absence of pressure. And this is this connection with the witness as we observe our experience in the moment. And if you are new to the meditation practice, please be gentle. Know that your mind will likely become distracted quickly and repetitively, and that's okay. This is part of the practice and the learning journey, is noticing when we become distracted and bringing our awareness back to that point. You're focusing all of your awareness on that small triangle. And you may even include a little further up the nostrils, because that's where you may be able to get a sensation of the breath. So you might expand that triangle a little bit if you're not connecting with anything in that smaller surface area of the triangle. You might notice your thoughts jumping around and jumping in and jumping out. And the practice comes in noticing and bringing yourself back. And in the beginning, when you are cultivating a meditation practice, this jumping around of the mind for many of us happens so often. The mind is used to distracting us, and we're used to jumping on board. So, what we're doing when we are coming to our mats for this meditation time is really working at breaking that pattern of letting ourselves be distracted by our thoughts, because our thoughts are often in the past experiences, or they can be projecting forward into the future, creating stories. And the beauty of the meditation practice is it focuses us in the here and the now. And from this point, we can show up for ourselves in our lives from a more balanced standpoint. So, this is why we come back to the practice to help us find that balance and equanimity within ourselves. So, I encourage you not to feel frustrated if your mind is jumping around. I encourage you to do your best to be the witness and show up objectively and just bring yourself back. So, as we are in the third class of this meditation series, maybe you're just jumping in for the first time. Maybe you have come to the second and now the third, because we've been expanding upon our awareness in the practice. And so, if you are able to maintain that focus on that small triangle, we'll move on to connecting with a little bit more sensation. If you are not finding that you can maintain your awareness on that small triangle quite yet, then I'd like you to keep your awareness there. So, allowing the breath to be soft, and connecting with any sensation that you can feel in that small area. For anyone who is ready to move on, we'll begin now to notice sensations further into the body. Maybe we begin to notice that breath as it moves in through the nostrils, slowly down the length of the spine, and back up slowly, and it leaves through the nostrils where it began. And remember, noticing isn't to be um, confused with controlling. So we are not controlling our breath. We are noticing its movement. We are noticing sensation. We are not looking to create it. We're looking to observe it. And this is where it becomes so difficult for those of us who lead these busy lives where most of our focus is external, because we are often used to finding control in situations as opposed to stepping back and allowing things to unfold from the moment. And again, this is where the practice of coming to your mat, sitting in stillness, noticing what comes up, and bringing yourself back into the moment helps to train us to react differently to situations in our daily lives. So if you have expanded your awareness a little bit, now we are going to take that and move it along the body. If you're focusing at that triangle by the nostrils, just stay there. Continue to follow the breath, observe sensation just at that point in your body. And anyone moving to connect with sensation in other parts of the body, we will begin now to travel our awareness over each part of our bodies very slowly. I like to begin at the crown of the head. And imagine your awareness moving to every single area on your body, so covering all surface area, beginning with the crown. And we are scanning for sensation: hot, cold, tingling, pressure. There may be some gross sensations, so in a bigger and deeper area. And then they may be very fine sensations as well. And the more that we refine the brain, the more that we'll pick up on those very fine sensations in our bodies. And if you're scanning and you notice that your mind has once again carried you away, you've become distracted, just bring it back. And we're trying to just allow whatever is present in the moment to be there. So whatever sensation we feel, we just notice it and we continue on. Or we may connect with it, notice it for a few moments, and then continue on our way. Observation is so very powerful. And in our lives, it can really help us, especially from a communication standpoint. the ability to be an observer, to step back from situations, to approach them from a non-reactive, non-emotion based space, so that we can formulate a more balanced approach to the situations in our lives. And yes, meditation is here for stress relief, for calming the mind, for taking us out of that fight or flight state in the nervous system and allowing our systems to rest and digest. Really, the benefits of meditation are countless at this point. Science is still studying and finding more and more benefits that yogis have known for over 5,000 years. And this is why we come back to practice. And some days you will find that you're in a good flow, that there's less thought and more sensation. And other days you'll spend more time just pulling yourself back and out of thought and into sensation, and that's okay. The important thing is that you're doing it, that you're coming back. It's a practice, and we're training ourselves. We're retraining our minds. Our minds didn't get this busy overnight. It's taken, for many of us, our lifetime. So we have to approach our practice with a gentle and compassionate mindset, knowing that we have the ability and the capacity to change our minds, to change our habits and our thought patterns. We'll do that with commitment and dedication and taking one step at a time. And that one step could be a few minutes a day. Or if you have longer, you practice longer. And we'll take these last couple of moments in silence, whether you're scanning the body or focusing your awareness at that triangle, the base of the nostrils. Let's all observe. So we'll all bring our awareness back to that triangle above the lip that encompasses the nostrils. And let's take a moment as we prepare to close our practice just to observe how we're feeling. Maybe observe any shifts or changes inside of you. Maybe observe a little more stillness and peace within you. As I close the practice here, you can always feel free to lie down on your mats, just to observe for a few moments or as long as you have. And just allowing the sound of the bowl to end our practice here today. Thank you for joining me for this third meditation class. It's an honor to guide you. Namaste.